Hey everybody, how's it going? And hello to Ferris, hello to Abe, and thank you to Ferris. Thanks so much. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know how the sound is. It's always good to check that first before we go too far. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Or maybe not. I don't know. Nobody's responding. So let's see what happens here. That's not what we wanted to happen. That's looking good. Let's take a look here. And as far as I can tell, the sound is working. So if you guys can hear me, great. If not, Anyway, hello, Samim. Fantastic. Thank you, Youngman. And Youngman, thank you so much for your comment the other day. It was very nice of you to write that. I appreciated that. And so, yeah, so thanks to everybody for stopping by. I didn't really have anything planned for tonight. I just thought that I would do some questions and answers. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them into the chat and I'll answer them as best I can. I can't guarantee I'm going to know the answer, but yeah, do what I can. So yeah, so I'm more of a Python person, as you know. And so hopefully those of you who are here kind of know who I am and what I've done. So while I'm waiting, I'm just going to go ahead and just see what I've got done here. Well, this was something I did recently. I don't know if any of you guys had a chance to see this, but let's get rid of that here. Hang on a second. Tools, plugin manager. And or at least make it smaller since I got the chat up there. And I put the chat over here so you guys can see what I'm responding to instead of, because there's always a delay between what's going on and what you guys see. So I'm going to change preferences here, make that a little bit smaller. 240. Click apply. There we go. That's a little bit better, I think. And something is freelancing a good option for beginners? I would probably say no, just because if you're going to be a freelancer, you're selling services, and if you're selling a service, you should probably know how to do that. So that's probably would be my advice. I've done very little freelancing. I did, well, about 10 years ago I did a bit, but these days I do not. So, Patty, I gave up on coding but stayed subbed. Well, thank you so much, Patty. And why did you give up on coding? It's if you're interested in it, don't give up. I wouldn't say I gave up on it, but I definitely got away from it at different points in my life. And I didn't code for years and years and years. And you know what? At one point in my life, of course, I came back around, and here I am teaching coding. I teach coding for a living. I teach middle school and high school. And so, yeah. Youngman, have you used Scratch? And if you did, do you like it? Youngman, yes, I have used Scratch a lot. I am definitely a fan of Scratch. So if you guys don't know what Scratch is, let me get you a new window here. And we'll go to Scratch. Scratch. Was it scratch.mit.edu? And Scratch is a really good programming environment for beginners, for children. I use it with my middle school students, and we use it with younger students at our school as well. So you can come here to scratch.mit.edu, and basically it's really cool. You can do a lot with it. You can just click on create. You don't have to have an account. They'll let you play around with it without creating an account. Patty gave up because he couldn't get what the course was taking. Well, Patty, you know what? I'm in grad school and it's very challenging. I'm on my I guess I'm on my 5th or 6th course. I've dropped 2. So you know what? Sometimes you got to drop courses. Sometimes you got to take a step back before you can take a step forward. Again, I'm in graduate school. I've been doing this for decades, and it's still freaking hard. So, if you're into it, don't give up. So anyway, yeah, Samim, Scratch is what you're looking at here. It's a little coding environment designed basically for children, but it's actually really powerful. So I've got my sprite here. It always starts out with a cat, and there are events. So for example, when the game begins, I'll have my cat go to a random position. So if I click the little start button here, cat jumps around. So I keep clicking it, cat moves around. And then you can see over here, you can change, what the cat's appearance. The cat can say stuff. So if I click that and it says hello, And that's about that. You can play sounds. Let's see, we can do a meow sound. Let's do a meow, so let's try that. I don't know if you could hear that. My speaker's a little bit low, but here, I'll put my headphones up here. Let's try it again. Okay, so it's really, really advanced. It's gotten really, really super powerful. And you can do sprites, you can do messages, you can do functions. They call them blocks. You can create variables. I mean, all the operators are there. Sensing, so like key presses, and you can sense the background color. There's just all kinds of stuff that you can do with Scratch. So yeah, definitely if you're interested in learning coding without actually typing code, Scratch is really, really a good choice. And it's free. It's from MIT. Again, I've used it for years and years and years with my students. Oh, so sorry, Youngman. Sorry, I did not switch over. Stupid me. Thanks, Youngman. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was total rookie move there. I apologize. So this is Scratch, and it's scratch.mit.edu, and you've got. And let me just repeat everything I just said. But basically, you've got all kinds of different types of blocks, and this is one of the originals that did block coding. I mean, there have been others, but this is one of the biggest and the earliest. So you have events such as when you click start, I can have the character go to a random position. It can turn, you can glide. There's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do with this. You can change the appearance. You can play sounds. There's different events such as when you click a sprite, have it do something. There's your control things such as loops and conditionals. And you can sense collisions and all kinds of things, key presses, your mathematical operators. Of course, you can create variables, and then you can actually make your own blocks, which is the same as making a function. So it is pretty cool. Yeah, sorry, Vector. Yeah, that was total brain fart. I apologize. Sudarshan has asked, I made a game using Turtle. I want to add an icon. So Sudarshan, do you want to make, what do you mean by an icon? You want to make instead of make a square and a triangle, you want to have an image? Is that what you're telling me? Thanks, Alvarez. Sorry about that. Yeah, Dino, definitely Scratch is good for kids. Again, I teach it to middle school students. My colleague teaches it to even younger students. We do a little bit of microbit as well in middle and high school at our school. Don't do Arduino, I don't do MBOT, but we do different things. And Youngman, yeah, Youngman, you are very welcome. I specifically chose not to do Pygame just because there were a lot of installation problems, and it's just a bit more complicated to get started. I'm learning a little bit now, and it's cool. It's really awesome. It's very powerful. But for the people that I teach, again, I make most of my tutorials I make with my students in mind. So we don't really do Pygame at our school. So we do basically just Turtle, which does what we need. Oh, Sudarshan, I have no idea the answer to your question. Something you might find useful piece of information is the Turtle module is built on top of tkinter. So whatever works for tkinter should work for the Turtle module. So hopefully that'll give you a little bit of a hint. Elros, what would you recommend starting for someone who has no experience in coding at all? There's all kinds of things you can learn these days with coding. I'm going to go to my channel, and should become as no surprise. If I go to my channel, I have a playlist here somewhere, and it says Intro to it's Basic Python for Beginners. And this is what I keep getting this all the time. Skip ad. I live in Japan, that's why it's in Japanese. This, if you just want to learn basic coding concepts, and I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend that you stick through this course. This is only, 8 minutes, 11 minutes. It's only about an hour 15 minutes long, something like that. But it will introduce you to most of the major concepts that you'll need to get started with coding, especially in Python. And a lot of the people that ask questions on my tutorials ask questions that if they had just followed this course, they would not need to answer. It's really basic stuff. For example, indentation, using colons at the end of certain statements. But, I recommend this not just because I made it, but I made it for beginners. This is something I give to my students, and they do a little self-study with this over the summer before they take my computer programming course. It'll help you get started, and then from there you can kind of branch out. Finez, where do you get your idea of coding particles in Turtle? Where did I get the idea from, or how did I do it? Where did I get the idea from? Well, particles, that's a thing. That's a thing in coding. And you do it, it's just a programming thing. So it's not something I came up with myself. But it's really, really powerful way of coding and just kind of making graphics and things like that. PC Fan, I watched your video Python, how to save and load data for beginners. I just wondering if I want to save the list values but not the data structure. In that case, what you do is you just I don't know, I don't have the code memorized, but something along the lines of, you would, basically you just, open the file, and then I think it's append or maybe write to the file the value that you want to write, but it's going to be saved probably as might be saved as a string. Yeah, I shouldn't say I've never done it, but I haven't done it for so many years. I just don't remember how to do it. I just always use Pickle now for that purpose. But you can save values to a file. That's something it should be easy enough to Google. Yeah. So sorry, I don't think that would really answer your question very well, PC Fin, but it's possible. I'd have to look it up though. Abby Roy, yes, Snake Game. Yeah, the Snake Game is very popular, along with the Space Invaders. Although Space Invaders is really old now, and it was written in Python 2, and it was like my first game I did in Python, and just it has so many things I'm embarrassed about, but it's still so popular that I don't want to delete it because so many people watch it and enjoy it. So, yeah. So, Sudarshan, if I give win equals turtle screen and give win.icon bot, it might work. I'd be curious to see if it works. Why don't you give it a shot and let us know? I'd be kind of curious about that. So, I mean, Python or Node.js? I haven't really used Node.js, so I can't compare the two. But, hey, go for it. I don't want to try and come across like I know everything. There's a lot going on I just don't know. And the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. And Elros, you're very, very welcome. Oh, so I mean, for the back end, again, it really depends on what you're doing. I did do my first project in Django, which is DJNGO. It's a Python framework for websites. And let me take a look at that one. You might find that useful. What is Django Python? And just in case you guys are curious, I don't use Google. I use DuckDuckGo because it respects your privacy a little bit more. And Django is a web framework that lets you create, back-end web page, the back end of web pages in Python. And as I said, I just did my first project in this. That was a group project for my graduate course. And yeah, it's pretty cool, but it takes a little time to get used to. And Finez, you're welcome. Ajit, I want to learn data structures and algorithms. I know only Python at uni, not learning this, but many of my peers tell me to switch to C++ due to STL functionality. What is your opinion on that? I don't know what STL means, to be honest, so I can't really comment on that. I know very, very little C++, but if you want to learn data structures and algorithms, the language does not matter. It's largely irrelevant what language you use. The data structures themselves are language agnostic. The algorithms are language agnostic. It doesn't really matter. So for example, if I go to, what was that thing? If I do selection sort. And so if I go to the Wikipedia page for selection sort, I know this one because it's something I teach to my students. There's an algorithm on here. Well, this is the actual code in C. God help us all. This one is Pascal. Okay, what's the other one we do? Selection and it's not merge sort. Yeah, I forget. But you can kind of find different algorithms. Insertion sort. There we go. That's what I wanted. So if I come down here, this isn't really any particular coding language. This is pseudocode. So you can take this and you can turn that into C++. You can take that and turn it into Python. You can take that, turn it into Java. Again, in my class, we teach this in Java. But you can take this and turn it into whatever language. So, data structures and algorithms, they're really language agnostic for the most part. So there's no reason to switch to C++ if, Python's working for you. Ronnie, I definitely would not consider myself a master, but I'm very curious about neural networks myself, but I don't know anything really about it. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm in a graduate program, and this is one of the topics we will get to, hopefully, at some point, but I haven't gotten to it yet, so I can't really help much with that one. After Python, should I learn Java or JavaScript? It really depends on what your purpose for learning the language is and what you want to do. You might want to go with Java just because, as much as I personally don't like Java that much, there's a lot of things that you can learn from Java and just like doing, writing software in Java is a way stricter and way less forgiving than Python is. And also Java just has a huge library. You can do so much with Java. And it's still one of the top languages. But if you want to do websites and front end stuff, you got to learn JavaScript. So it's really up to you what you want to do. Youngman, this isn't coding, but do you like manga anime? Because I heard you live in Japan. Dragon Ball is my favorite. I do live in Japan, but I do not like manga or anime. I'm very sorry. I'm one of those people. I live here, but don't really have that much interest in that type of that aspect of the culture. I like the food. I love the architecture, the temples. I love traveling around Japan. But anime and manga, that kind of stuff, I'm just not interested in. And Tamima, hello. And Coding with Parth, hello. Mike, that's a good question. If I want to learn JavaScript, is it necessary to learn Java first, then JavaScript? Absolutely not. They are two completely different languages, and there is essentially no relationship between the two. So it doesn't really matter which one you learn first. It's not going to help you that much to learn the other one. The only thing I would say is just, Java is a bit unforgiving. It's a bit stricter language, and it forces you to do object-oriented programming, essentially. So, that might be the harder one. But, it depends. Again, depends on your purposes. Django is cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. I wish I had a little more time to work with it, but, we got it working, our project. Lee, do you know or come across software called PyCharm? I personally don't use PyCharm. PyCharm is a very popular, IDE for programming in Python. Excuse me. It's pretty involved. It does a lot of good things. It does a lot of how can I put it? It'll check your code. It'll help you find errors and things. But I think I tried it once a long time ago, and I just didn't find it all that useful. I personally use Genie. This is called Genie, and you can find it at genie.org. This is a free open source piece of software. It's very lightweight, very fast. It doesn't have as many features as some other things that you might use, but it does what I need. Another thing with PyCharm is it does Python. I teach HTML, I teach CSS, do a little JavaScript, Python, and Java. And I wanted something that would do basically all the different languages that the students at my school might do. And Genie is that. And it works on Linux, it works on Mac, it works on Windows. So there's no real limitation to the operating system, which is something that is important to me as well. Okay, somebody uses DuckDuckGo and Tor. That's pretty clever. And Tanima, can you tell how to create a website using Python? As I was talking a little bit earlier about Django, Django lets you do the back end of a website. So if you're accessing a database, you're sharing information, you're sending information, returning information, and processing information. This is a framework to do that. But the front end of the website, the things that you see as the user, what I see here, this is all HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So it really depends on what you want to do with that. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but the stuff you see here is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The stuff on the back end can be Python. And if you want to do Python, Django is a good choice for it, but it's complicated. You really kind of need to know what you're doing. So yeah. And Pseudoshan has an attribute error. Screen object has no attribute icon bitmap. There you go. Live and learn. Coding with Parth, Java or Kiwi versus TK Inter. That's an interesting one. Coding with Parth. What's the question? Like, to do what? And Ego Sumo. You are an English teacher in Tokyo too. That's a good question. Can I ask where you teach at? Or is that something you'd rather not say? I'm just kind of curious. Hopefully that'll come up later. But yeah, jobs and internships. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on, there's Twitter. There's a bunch of different job sites now for those types of jobs here in Tokyo. Again, I'm a teacher myself, so I don't really look for them. But I think if you just do a little, kind of a basic Google search, Tokyo, tech job or something like that. I spelled it wrong, tech. But Tokyo tech jobs. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different websites where they post stuff. Here's Recruit Now. I've heard of this one, but again, because I haven't been looking for those types of jobs myself. I can't really tell you. But Ego Sumo, are you thinking about doing a boot camp or something? If you're thinking about doing a boot camp here, there's a really good one called Code Chrysalis, and they're near my school. That's how I know them, and I've been to a couple of their events. And I'm actually thinking about doing it someday myself. But this is a really good boot camp. And they're actually, everything's on. I think it's online. You probably do it from anywhere in the world at this point. But they have a really strong program. And again, I've gone to their demo nights that their students do after just 3 months, and it's just super duper impressive. So if you get a chance, you might want to check that out. Yeah, PC Fit. I mean, pickling should be pretty. I mean, I don't think there's any easier way to save data than to pickle. Doing what you want to do, you'd have to save everything basically on a separate line. You'd have to format it yourself. It's really complex. I used to do it that way with my students, but they had so much trouble with it. So I switched everything over to using Pickle just for high school students. It works pretty well. The download size of Android Studio. Wow, it's big. I don't know. Studio download size. Let's see what comes up. Kind of curious about that myself. On Linux, in my case, it's 883 megabytes. So yeah, it's not small. So there you go. And Dino says, for first language, Python is good. I cannot agree more. That is why I teach Python and not JavaScript or Java to my students. And hello, Aslan. And PCFin is correct. It is around 900 megabytes. Tanima, do you play Free Fire? I do not. I'm not sure what that is. What is Free Fire? Free Fire. Did not come up. Free Fire apps on Google Play. Survival shooter game. I am not a gamer. I play almost no games. Sorry. Ajit, you are very, very welcome. I'm glad I could help. And Pratiksha, sir, can you suggest cool Python projects? That's kind of an interesting question. I get this question a lot from my own students, and once they learn a little bit of coding, they don't know what to do with it, and this is a common problem that learners have for whatever reason, and I don't know, how can I put it? Like, yeah, you got to find something. If you want to really be motivated to do something, you got to find something that you care about. So, if you like a certain game, do your best to make a version of that. If you're interested in X, do something related to X. Try and choose something that you're passionate about. So, with my students, what I try to do, at least with our final projects, is I tell them, but I ask them to come up with a game idea or an app idea that they themselves are interested in, that they want to do. That's going to help them accomplish some goal that they are interested in. And so I think if you find if there's something that you're interested in, find a project that's related to that. So now beyond that, Praktiksha, I would just say check out my YouTube channel because I've got not tons, but I've got quite a few tutorials here. If you want to learn some basic games and just kind of get started with gaming. And this one, I know, I'm so sorry, I got to finish this thing up. This is awesome, but I haven't finished it yet. And then close that. There's also, where is it at? There's also some GUI stuff here. Like if you want to program a to-do list app, there's a simple calculator app. There's a bunch of different things here you can try if you're not sure what you want to do. Okay. And Sid, good to see you too. Welcome back. And Dino says PyCharm is good. So Dino recommends it. Go for it. Burkett really, yeah, that the side-scrolling game in Turtle. Yeah, I haven't really come back to that one. I don't even know where that one's at anymore. I don't know if it's on this. I don't know when I did that. Documents, desktop. Ooh, side-scrolling shooter. This is the Pi game. Side shooter, is this the non-Pi game one? Yeah, this is what Baraket's talking about. So this is the live video is still on my YouTube channel. But if I run this, and it looks like this, something like that. So it's not super advanced, but it was just demonstrate the idea. So I'm shooting the enemies coming this way. I know, fascinating, isn't it? And then I did a second version in, where's that sucker at? Desktop. The second version in Pygame. Let's see if that's still working. I didn't want that to happen. With Genie, there we go. And then if I run this one, so this one's a little bit more advanced. And there's sound effects, you just can't hear them. So, but this was, I spent three lessons on this one. It's actually kind of fun, but yeah, so that's what Bearcat's asking about. And the answer is no, I haven't finished those, sorry. So, yeah, I got too many projects going on, so I apologize. And Tanima, I am not Tanima, I am Sri Nash. Yeah, I can't help you. It just says Tanima Panda, man. So I'm either going to call you Tanima or Panda. You got a choice there. Oh, a scroll bar in TK Enter. Scroll bar. Oh, Afia. Scroll bar in TK Enter. I think you're in luck. Do I have it here? Yeah. I just happen to have this open. So if I run this, you can see that there is a scroll bar. So if I add, oops, yeah, I know. Gee. So you can see here, I've got my scroll bar. Oops, that was brilliant. You can see here, I've got my scroll bar. So I can scroll and connect it to this list box. So the code is here. So if you watch the video for this, it kind of explains it. It's not easy. It took me a while to figure that one out. Yeah, it was not simple. So let me see if I can find the link for you. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's this one. So yeah. So let me stop that. So yeah, if you watch this, it talks a little bit about the scroll bar, and that might help you. Okay. Oh, Ego Sumo is in Kawasaki. Okay, yeah, I teach in Tokyo myself. Um, but yeah, like I said, the probably if I was doing it, I would go for one of these boot camps. If you can take the time, they're like $8,000 for like 3 months. If you can get 3 months of your life, and then you're not guaranteed a job, but they have an extremely high graduation rate. There's other ones. There's Lowagon, but this is the one I'm a lot more familiar with, and I know some of the people there. So yeah, check those guys out. And coding is asked Java or Kivi or TK Inter. Coding with Parth. And again, I was asking what's your purpose? It depends what your purpose is. To pixel art in Turtle. So Finnes, how can I replace an object into pixel art in Turtle? What do you mean, Finnes, by that? Egozoom, yeah, you're welcome. Check that out. Somic, that's an interesting question. Some apps such as Google, Facebook, Instagram, they are made of different programming languages. How do they combine different programming languages? That's a pretty interesting question. The gist of it, and I could be wrong on this one. I haven't done this in Python in a while, so let's see if I can get this to work. So I'm going to try this here. So how do we do that? I have to Google it. And this is the process. Like, I try to tell my students I don't know everything. Python key args command line. There we go. So I Google a lot, and there we go. So tutorial point, great website. There we go. There we go. Done. Fantastic. I'm just gonna copy that because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So sorry, give me a second here. And I'm trying to answer your question. So if I throw this in here, so number of arguments. Okay, so this program is Q&A .py. So I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to cd desktop. Okay, and it's capital D, cd desktop. I'm going to type Python 3 Q&A. And who asked that question? Somic. Somic asked the question. And you said Google, Facebook, and Instagram. So notice what I did here. So Python 3 is going to run this program. And then I added a space and some characters, a space and some characters, a space and some characters. So if I hit enter, lovely. Clearly it was written in Python 2. So in Python 2, print was a statement, and now it is a function in Python 3. So let's go back and do that. So basically what you can do, okay, so 5 arguments, Q&A py. The first argument is the name of the file. Second argument is Somic. Third is Google, Facebook, and Instagram. So you can do this. You can call a program from another program just the exact same way I did this. There's more complicated ways to do it, but I don't know a lot about those. But this is the gist of it. So you call a second program to do something for your other section of the code while another section of code's running. And that's kind of the gist of it. How do you open a PyCharm file in Python? Vishal, I'm sorry I don't use PyCharm. I don't know how to answer that question. Let's see. Aslan, how can you replace the turtle to a picture? Okay, that one I can do quick because I know I pretty much have that off memorized. So I'm just going to get rid of that. So I'm going to go ahead and say import turtle, so say Bob equals turtle.turtle. And I'm going to say turtle, I think it's turtle.done, I think I can do. Let's try it and see what happens here. Okay, so that opened up my turtle window. Okay, so this is for Aslan. So I've got my turtle here. Now I can change the shape of my turtle. I'm going to say bob.shape. And there's only a few built-in shapes, but let's just go ahead and do turtle. Oops, quote. Yeah, turtle. And I'm going to go ahead and run that. And now I've got my turtle. But your question is how to use an image file. So let's go ahead to my website. I think I have some images there. So christianthompson.com. Or I could go to my GitHub, I guess, too. But let's see what my website is looking like these days. I don't do a lot with it. Either it's running slow or my internet's running slow. Let's see what's happening. Okay, that's not working. Let's try. Is it www.christianthompson.com? Well, that's not good. Let me see. There, a second. Okay, that's a good sign. So looks like my website's not working, so I can live with that. Ooh, wait, oops. There we go. Yosh. Okay. Space Invaders. So I'm gonna go to my Space Invaders here, and I think I can download the image. So let's go ahead and just download the invader. So save link as. Okay. Now see where it says invader.gif. So on my desktop is where I actually have the invader, is where I have this program. So this program, Q&A, is on my desktop. The image is on my desktop. So what I gotta do is I'm gonna have to say win equals turtle.screen. And I'm gonna say win.register shape. So I'm registering a shape on the screen. It's called invader.gif. It's gotta be a GIF. Can't use PNGs, can't use anything else, JPEGs. It's gotta be a GIF. And you can't rename it, you have to convert it. I get that question all the time and it annoys me to no end. Invader.gif. And then hopefully if I run this, now I've got my invader instead of the original turtle. So it's pretty simple, Aslan. That's how you do it. This is explained in almost every one of my tutorials, at least Space Invaders, a couple of the other ones. So take a look at those and you can get some more information about that. Yeah, Vishal's right. And goodbye, Tanima, who's not Tanima. Bachir, have you written any books on Python? I have not, but it is on my to-do list. So yeah, definitely looking to do that. Vishal, can you recommend any advanced Python projects? I mean, really, I think anything that you want to do, I don't know what you mean by advanced, but I don't know what you know how to do. So you'd have to find something that you know how to do and go with it. But yeah, you might want to check out, on YouTube, there's ScentDex is somebody that really knows his stuff. And I really aspire to be at that level someday. He's got almost 1 million subscribers with 1,000 videos. And somebody was asking earlier about neural networks. His book was just released, Neural Networks from Scratch in Python. So if you check out his stuff, I think you'll find a lot of advanced stuff that you can learn from. So yeah, check out that channel. I would definitely recommend it. Okay, Pratikshah. Yeah, glad you like the Space Invaders game. TK Inter or Kivy. Daiwic, TK Inter is easy. It's built in. Kivy is hard, but it's more advanced. So it's really what you want to do. If you're talking about making an app for a phone, it's going to have to be Kivy or Java, or I guess Kotlin now. So yeah, it depends what you want to do with it. There's no right or wrong answer, I suppose. But yeah, it's kind of the way it is. Ooh, Daiwic, I'm making a basic calendar app. That's pretty cool. Is it TK Inter or one of the other ones? Oh, I want a scroll bar with label function on TK Inter screen itself, not with the help of list box or text widget. Yeah, know what? Good luck with that. Sorry. But it took me forever to figure out the scroll bar with the stupid list box. Yeah, you just have to read the documentation and see if you can figure that one out. I'm not really quite sure also what you want to do. If you want to scroll through a label, that might be a little bit complicated. Sid, yes, I finally did make it to that comment. I'm getting there. Parth, yes, I changed my logo a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I try to get my all my stuff not consistent. So yeah, I like this black and white thing. I made this myself, and then made that. Yeah, I wanted this to be consistent. I wanted everything to look the same, and it's also my wallpaper. Oops, you can't see that now, but it's also my wallpaper now. So yeah, it's yeah, glad you like it. Thank you. There's also, you could also, if you like it that much, you can buy it on a sweatshirt or a t-shirt or a mug or anything. So yeah, I'm trying different ways to monetize, and I will be what's it called? Starting channel membership soon, I hope. And there's also here you can do custom emojis as well on this chat if you have them. I don't quite know how it works. So anyway, sorry about that. And Dino, thanks for answering that. I know somebody asked that question earlier. Yeah, Dino's great. And Mr. Eats, I'm doing good, thanks. And Vishal, do I take online classes? Yes, I do. I am actually a student at Georgia Tech, OMSCS. And this is the program I'm in right now. And this is a online Masters of Science in Computer Science. It's really, really hard, and but I'm doing my best. And yeah, I'm learning quite a lot, actually. It's really, really interesting, but it is very challenging. So yeah, if you can get in, check it out. So yeah, Vishal, I'm still, Vishal, that's one of the things I try to tell my students as well. We're all learning. There's always somebody who knows more than you do, and there's always more stuff to learn. So, And Vector, no, I do not play video games. Sorry, it's just not my thing. It's yeah, you think I'd play games, but I'm not a game person at all. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so it looks like I have gotten to the end of the chat. Now I'm assuming it's still running. It may not be. Oh, okay. Joslia says ping 8. Okay, so that's working. That's a good sign. Sorry, can everybody else hear me? Is Josleu ISC? Sorry, can't hear me right now. But as far as I can tell, everything should be working. Check here. Yeah, I mean, on my end, it looks like everything's working. Sorry. So I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, it looks like we're at the end of the questions. That's probably a good place for me to call it an Sumix jumped in there. I did Morse code in Python. I think this project is rare. If anyone asks, you can suggest Morse code. There you go. So if you want to do a little Morse code, you can do that. So Josleu, I see. Other people can hear me. So Vector99 can hear. That's great. Dino, I am a teacher and student. You and me both. Josleu, I cannot help you. You need to figure out how to turn the sound on your own computer. That is up to you. Psychic, between Java and C++, what do you think is better to get a job? I think they're probably both pretty good. So if we take a look at like the most popular programming languages, if this pops up, I'll talk about it in a second. And Josleu, by the way, why don't you use Windows? I can talk about that subject all day. Anyway, top 10 most popular programming languages: Python, JavaScript, Java, C#, C, C++. It's in the top 10. You'll be fine. Miguel de Guzman is looking for a shout out. I'm not sure what that means, but hey, Miguel. And love back to the Philippines. How's it going? So John Zlausi asked me, why don't you use Windows? I do not use Windows because I do not like Windows. I don't like their corporate policies. I do not like proprietary software. Almost everything I use is open source. It is free, and not just free as in cost, but you can take a look at the source code. I think these things are important. So yeah, I don't use Windows. Also, Linux is faster. It's more secure, as far as I can tell, and it's just cooler. Sorry, but yeah, I have a really negative view of Windows, and if you like to use that, that's great. But yeah, I think if you're gonna code, if you're gonna be a coder, use Linux. yeah, rock that. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Mr. Yeats, nice face detection, cool. Which one is that for? Or does it depend on where? It's like, yeah, I think, yeah, it's going to depend on where you work and what you want to do. Like Java is suited for some things, C++ is suited for others. Game studios tend to use C++, possibly C Sharp, but usually it's C++ because it's so fast. Java is a bit more used in corporate apps and that sort of thing. But yeah, so yeah, and Jaslu, yes, howdy. I have learned Python and I'm about to learn Java. Which one is easier? Vishal, there's no question Python is easier to learn. Java is just definitely more complicated. Um, yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Let me check something here. I have some video. Videos, poem. What is it? Okay. Yeah, I made this video. I made Java to Python. I'm going to make Python to Java probably this summer because that's what's going to happen with my students. But you might want to take a look at this and I'll show you like how things work in Java and then how you do the same thing in Python. It might work out well for you. Yeah, Josley say, yeah, I can hear you. I'm stupid. I forgot to unplug my headphones. It happens to us all. And Mr. Eats, when is the next Space Arena video? Yeah, I know. It's haunting me, and I'll get it done someday. There's a variety of reasons why I haven't been able to get that. Yeah, Miguel, the system does not like you. For me, Python is better than Java because Python is beginner friendly. Yeah, I'm definitely, Miguel, in the same boat there. You can get a lot done with Python, and it's just, yeah, you can just get a lot done with Python really quickly. It's not as fast as Java. It's not as secure, I guess, in a lot of ways, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And Joz Leosi plays piano, cello, and clarinet. That is impressive. Vishal plays drums, and I play guitar and bass, and I do sing on occasion. Abe, some messages are not reaching you. I can't say. I don't know. You can see what I see, so on the screen there. So, Mr. Eats, I play the mechanical keyboard. That's cool. Abe, I might have it set. I know I originally had this set to not allow, you can only like comment every 30 seconds or something like that. So that might be the problem. So dictionaries of Python. I can get a value by key, but how can I get a key by its value? I know there's an easy Python way to do this, but I don't remember it. So I'll just do it my way. So I'm gonna make a dictionary. Let's see. I'll say capitals. Capitals equals, and we'll say let's say I'm in Japan, so we'll do. Let's see. So Japan is Tokyo. Duh. And then I'll do Korea. I'll do South Korea, of course. Seoul. I used to live there as well. And I'll do all the places I've lived. I'll do USA. And that's, of course, Washington. D.C. And I used to live in Romania. So, and that was Bucharest. Okay, so the question was how to go the other way. So like what you can do, I mean, this isn't the easiest thing. I know there's an easier Python way to do this, but here is a way to do this. I think, can you reverse those? Well, I don't know. What you could do is like reverse equals like that. So then what you could do is you could do for, let's see, country in capitals. And then you can say capital equals country, capitals. I don't think it's the best code I've ever written, but it'll work. And then you just say reverse. Delta equals, And you say reverse capital equals, I'm not sure this is what you wanted, but country. And then I can say print reverse. So if I run this, so I get Tokyo to Japan, Seoul to Korea, Washington, D.C. to USA, Bucharest to Romania. So I don't know if that works out for you or not. Okay, and yeah, so like that's a way to reverse it. I know there's another easier way, but I can't remember it right now. But yeah, I think I talked about that. Sorry, this is jumping around a little bit. Dino, you teach 11 to 15. I also teach that age group as well, and yeah, I do Python and Scratch. So I do a tiny little bit of JavaScript, but that's about that. What are your laptop specs? I think I don't remember exactly, but it's not super duper fast. I think it's like an i5 or something like that. If you go to, it doesn't matter. I think any of my recent videos, I actually have an Amazon affiliate link. That's another way I was trying to. I actually made 27 cents from my Amazon affiliate links. So I got this link here, and if you click on that, it takes you and it will show you that is the computer that I am using. So if I open that up, this is my laptop. Now when I got it, it was cheaper. I don't know why this one's that much more expensive than when I bought it, but yeah, I bought this a couple years ago, and this is what I have basically. I think, at least. Bearcat's busy. Miguel's got a large Chromebook. Nice. Java is next level for sure. Okay. Miguel is definitely making sense. I love Linux better than Windows. Now, I could not have said that any better myself. That's someone after my own heart. Okay. Tell you what, it's been about an hour. I'm getting a little tired, and it's about 8 p.m. here in Tokyo, and I am an early sleepy person. So anyway, thanks to everybody who stopped in and chatted. I do appreciate it. Hey, Jam. Sorry I missed you there. And how to do that. Sorry I missed you as well. Hello. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I hope you learned something. I hope I did more good than harm. And just kind of going through here real quick. We talked about Scratch today. We talked about my laptop. We talked about Django. We can use Django for web pages and the back end side of making web pages. Talked about some sorting algorithm here and data structures and algorithms that are language agnostic. A lot of people like PyCharm. I personally do not. I use Genie, and it works very well. I also use DuckDuckGo. And, if you're in Tokyo, I think it's even online now. You can do a coding bootcamp in about 3 months, and as you say, change your life, learn to code. It's a great company. Check them out. Android Studio is 883 megabytes. That's a lot. And somebody mentioned this game. I've never played it, but they seem to like it. So, we talked about command line and running programs from other programs. How to change an image in a turtle. Syntax, like I said, if you've done my tutorials and you're ready to go to the next level, this is the guy to go to. This guy is way more knowledgeable than I'll probably ever be. I'm also a big fan of Corey Schaefer. He's also got some really great tutorials. Actually, I followed his Django tutorial so I could learn how to do Django. But he's got some stuff for beginners as well, and so he has 664,000 subscribers. I don't know how he does it because I've only got 30,000, and this is impressive. So anyway, and you're welcome, Psygeek. I'm glad to help. Vector, good night to you as well. Mr. Eats, it's 4:25 where you're at. Bearcat, see you later. And Miguel, yes, good night to you as well. So yeah, take care, everybody. Have a good one. Oh, Sharon, should I choose Python, Django, or React? you choose what you know. If you're an expert in Python, or if you're better at Python, go with Django. If you're better at JavaScript, go with React. That would probably be my only advice, because I don't know anything else about you. But yeah, that's probably your best bet. Okay. And Vishal, good night. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, that's it, and that's me. I think that's it. I am getting sleepy. Okay, take care, everybody. Keep on coding. Have a good one. Ciao.